In Lesson 30, we want to talk about adding and subtracting decimals, and there's something we need to keep in mind when we add and subtract decimals, and it's this: always line up the decimal point. Other than that, it's add as usual and carry the decimal point straight down. Take example 1. We would say 3.6 plus 4.1. I've written them vertically because nobody in their right mind adds horizontally, so let's look at it vertically. I've lined up the decimal points, I place it in my answer, and then I just add the digits as normal. 6 plus 1 is 7, and 3 plus 4 is 7. The answer is 7.7. Look at example 2. 5.17 plus 3.7. Well, I lined up my decimal place points, but what am I going to add to this 7 that's out here at the end? I can fill in with zeros if I want to. 7 plus 0 would give me 7. 1 plus 7 would give me 8. Bring down the decimal point. 5 plus 3 will give me 8. Decimal points don't change when you're adding and subtracting. They just have to be lined up, and they're just carried down into the answer. Example 3, we've got 24.6 plus 2.39 plus 0.0678. We don't need those leading zeros in front of the decimal. You can write them if you want, but you really don't have to. Now, everything above these other numbers we could fill in with zeros. It's important that you do line up your numbers very carefully, so zeros might help you do that. I'm going to draw my equal sign. I'm going to say 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 0 plus 7 is 7. 0 plus 9 plus 6 is 15. Carry my 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus 3 is 10. Put my decimal point down. Carry my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. And 2 plus nothing is 2. So 27.0578 is our answer. What happens when we have two negatives in example 4? Well, remember, when we're adding negative numbers, adding positives and negatives, if the sign is the same, we add them and keep the sign. So I'm going to be adding negative 18.2, and I'm going to be adding negative 10.8, and I already know that my answer is going to be negative. Add the numbers, keep the sign. Let's put the decimal point down. 8 plus 2, 10. Carry your 1. Plus 8, 9. 1 plus 1 is 2. The answer is negative 29. You don't even have to put the decimal and the 0 when it's a whole number. Remember, when it's a whole number, the decimal is understood to be at the end of the number. Let's try subtraction. Very important to line the decimal point up and write it vertically. 654.9 minus 56.67. Now, what am I going to subtract this 7 from? Well, I can put a 0 there. I'll go ahead and put my decimal in my answer, and then I can just ignore it. I have to borrow to subtract 7 from 0, so I'll borrow from this 9. And it's 10 minus 7 is 3. 8 minus 6 is 2. The decimal's already there. I can't subtract from the 4, so I'll borrow from this 5. Now I have 14 minus 6, which is 8. And I have to borrow again because I can't really subtract 5 from 4. So I'll borrow and make that 14 minus 5. It gives me a 9. And 5 minus nothing, or 0, is 598.23. Example 6, the number is 28. Where's the decimal? Well, if it's not listed, it's right here, following the number. So we have to have 28 point, and we're going to subtract 3.3. I'm going to fill in with a 0 up here. I'm going to borrow from my 8 to get 10. Minus 3 is 7. Place my decimal. 7 minus 3 is 4. 2 minus nothing is 24.7.